Welcome to Employment Law This Week. I'm George Whipple, coming to you from a safe social distance. As COVID-19 continues to spread, employers are facing unprecedented pressure. 100 million Americans are now under stay-at-home orders, and businesses are being forced to make difficult decisions about how to stay afloat and maintain their operations. This week, Marc Mandelman is here to tell us what employers should consider as these challenging circumstances unfold.
Many companies, if not whole industries, are temporarily reducing or entirely pausing all business operations due to the COVID-19 public health emergency. During this time of uncertainty, when deciding whether to temporarily furlough or to permanently terminate employees, each company will need to weigh the cost-benefit analysis of furloughing versus terminating employees, including evaluating the nature of their continuing operations, the need and likelihood of retaining and recalling their workforce when restarting operations, and the costs and complexity involved with each course of action. Some significant considerations are, first of all, whether operational and cost objectives can be achieved short of furloughing or terminating employees. Can you continue to provide pay and benefits to employees? And if so, at what level and for how long? What would be the real cost of terminating employees, including any obligation to pay severance pay under an employer severance pay plan, if there is one? The cost of recalling or rehiring employees? The litigation risk of terminating employees? Whether employees are unionized and the employer has to negotiate a change to employee terms and conditions of employment, and whether there are WARN or State WARN Act obligations and any potential costs of complying with WARN, such as 60 days of pay and benefits, which may depend on the jurisdiction in which the employees are employed. It's also important to confirm that there are no contractual commitments to a set salary or other compensation, and if making a change, that employment is clearly identified in writing as at will. All communications with employees should be in writing and clearly outline all employee rights to pay and benefits. For permanent terminations, it's important to consider whether WARN or State WARN Act notification requirements apply. In most jurisdictions, a temporary layoff lasting less than 6 months is not a WARN-recognized loss of employment, but there are some exceptions, such as California. Permanent terminations with no expectation of recall within 6 months will count towards a potential WARN trigger and notice obligation. It's also important to ensure compliance with any other notice requirements, such as benefit termination rights, COBRA notices, and unemployment insurance rights. For temporary furloughs, it's important to clearly communicate that the layoff is temporary and that there is an expectation of recall. Clearly explain what pay and benefits the employee is entitled to receive during the furlough period, including any leave laws, such as the new federal and state paid sick leave laws relating to the COVID-19 crisis. Clearly communicate rights to file for unemployment insurance. For layoff alternatives, it's important to clearly communicate what your expectations are for the employee to continue to perform work during this period of uncertainty, such as telework, reduced hours, job sharing, etc. Clearly communicate any salary and or hours reductions and the expectation as to whether these changes are temporary or permanent.
Thanks, Mark. Effective March 4th, California's governor issued an emergency order temporarily creating an unforeseeable business circumstance provision under California's WARN. This allows California employers to make large-scale emergency furloughs and layoffs without providing employees 60 days advance notice. However, WARN notices must still be provided. We'll likely see other governmental efforts across the country to accommodate both employers and employees' needs to adjust to this unprecedented circumstance. For our part, we're doing our best to keep you informed about important workforce issues as you try to make the best decisions to protect your businesses, your coworkers, and your families. Stay safe and healthy out there, and we'll see you next time.